Whenever you bring up the idea of making the government smaller and reducing taxes, you are assaulted from all directions with arguments like, but my roads, or, but what about the children? It's so common and cliche now, and the response is so instinctive that we have to wonder if we are not hearing arguments, but rather programming. Think Pavlov's dog and the ringing of a bell. I suppose even good people can disagree on where to draw the lines, and I draw some myself. But with $38 trillion in debt, the bottom line is that we must be asking the government to do loads more than it can properly do, or that we can afford. Anyone who has done the math knows that even if you sucked up every dollar from the rich, we'd barely pay for 1 year, and there would be nothing left after that. Part of the problem, of course, is that most people have no idea just how many ways the government has intruded itself into our lives. From the amount of water to use in the flush of a toilet, or the design of gasoline cans to prevent vapors from leaking. Well, this list could go on practically forever. How 99% of these intrusions have to do with either roads or children is beyond me, but then really, reason has nothing to do with it, does it? Instead, it's a version of the slippery slope writ large. As soon as anyone does literally anything, eventually there will be people who, for one reason or another, will say, this is something the government should really be involved in. The next thing you know, the government isn't just involved in it, it's taking it over. Instead of being able to dip in and out according to your own preferences, now you have no choice because the state dictates your involvement with coercive powers, including to tax, imprison, or worse. There are two examples of this I want to call attention to, and both are relevant to a recent video I posted. First of all, there is the question of money and currencies. Governments have been ruining their economies by mismanagement of the currency from the beginning of time. And like a dog returning to its vomit, the people keep supporting it. No sooner does the market come up with a really novel and important way to democratize currency, I mean Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and the blockchain, is there clamor for the government to get involved. See the Genius Act, stablecoins, and the inevitable central bank digital currencies. I tried to warn people about a plausible risk unfolding, and the platform that I shared that on, which I will not name, but you can probably guess, flagged my video, refused to show it to my own viewers, essentially silencing me and shadow banning me all at once. The government is now rushing in to corrupt what true innovators developed, and big tech is ready to smother you if you say anything about it. Which is, in some ways, to be expected, since the government is getting involved in part because you've got a load of people out there wringing their hands crying, but my roads, and what about the children? Which leads to the second point, about how the aforementioned platform has the power to silence people. I grew up when the internet was still in its infancy. I remember the days of the Wild West. There was precious little government involvement and innovation piled upon innovation. But then the Karens got involved. Little by little, the democratization of information and conversation was gobbled up by bigger and bigger corporate entities. Suddenly, what you can talk about is determined by 23-year-olds with woke college degrees who can only find two jobs: serving coffee at the fancy coffee shop and censoring people's videos. But my roads, what about the children? You may think that what a big tech company does has nothing to do with government intrusion, but that is just your ignorance talking. Big tech has the monopoly it does because it and only it was able to comply with one government after another, beginnings, around 2000, the year 2000. The handling of a recent pandemic, which I dare not name because Karen is listening, gives us many examples of how social media was manipulated by the government to control the discourse. In this video, I have given you two examples of how we've slid down the slippery slope: digital currencies and the internet itself. And these are really big. They are going to impact all of us in a big way. But apparently I can't tell you about all that, because of the roads and the children. If you do want to hear me go deeper on these things, I would ask that you would subscribe and follow me on all my social media channels. Again, I can't name them because the woke degree people are listening. In my live streams and through other avenues and more eventually, I will find a way to give you the warnings you desperately need. And to be honest, the problems have now become so complicated that I need your help keeping abreast of all of them too. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and never forget the roads. But what about the children? I'm the Philosopher King 2.0, signing out in disgust.